Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I have been tagged, so that's what today's video is going to be about. Willem at Willem's Kitchen tagged me, and this tag is on Frugality. And if you have never been to Willem's Kitchen, please go visit her at Willem's Kitchen. And she has some great videos on a lot of neat recipes and on how to save money, and I really like to watch her channel because she's a fellow frugal person, and so we get along really well, and I am very honored that she asked me to do this video. So here we go. This tag is on Frugality, and so I've been tagged on Frugality. Number 1, what are the most important frugal things that I do daily? There's a whole bunch of things that you can do to save money, and a lot of those add up. They can be a whole bunch of small things, but they add up and make a big difference. But I would have to say that the biggest thing that I do is that I stay out of the stores as much as possible. Every time that you go into a store, you're more than likely to buy more. And it's good to have an allowance for everything. And with that allowance, you're going to take more out of your allowance every time. And one example is this past Sunday, we went into the store to buy 2 loaves of bread, and we came out with $46 worth of groceries. But there were good things. So there were, you know, it was a good sale. So later on down the road we'll save, but I did have to take that out of my budget, and so there you go. It's less money for me to spend later. But I would say number 1, stay out of the stores, especially if you're tempted with shopping and trends and buying. Like, some people are into shoes and they buy a bunch of shoes or purses or whatever. Just stay out of the stores. And then have the mindset that you enjoy not spending more than you enjoy spending. Look at each day as, well, I didn't spend any money today. Isn't that great? And then tomorrow, I haven't spent money in 2 days. Isn't that wonderful? So yeah, that would be one of the most important things that I do daily, or that I should do daily, and I do most of the time. Also, ration and not waste. This is a wasteful world we're in, so don't waste your food, don't waste anything, and try to ration and see what little you can get away with in anything that you use. Most important strategies to save on energy. Well, it depends on what region you live in. Our region, and this is in the news right now, we have one of the top rates on electricity in the nation. And but there again, every little bit helps. So we like to keep our lights off if we're not using them. We only keep the heat and air to the degree that is comfortable, and, you know, not go over. We try to acclimate ourselves to maybe stretching it a little bit with what's on the thermostat. And so obviously you can only take off so much during the summertime, but, you know, try to get used to, instead of, like, some people do 73 or whatever, some people do the 60s, but you can do, like, normally we set our thermostat to 77. Today I set it to 78. And so turn on fans instead of using the AC. And do your research on which appliances are sucking the electricity. One thing that I have just really thought about this year, which is surprising, but that your freezers uses about chest freezers, about $30 to $40 of electricity. It can be even more. Sometimes it might be even less. Once again, it depends on where you live. But if it's $30 of electricity a month, over a year's time, that's $360. So are you saving that much in your groceries that you're storing in the freezer? So you have to sort of adjust that according to your family. We have a large family, so we have an extra chest freezer. But if it was only a few of us, I would say 4 to 5 people, a refrigerator freezer would probably be sufficient for us. So it's not always, even if you're saving on, let's say, meat or whatnot, it's not always beneficial to run a big freezer for that meat if it's going to take money out of your budget elsewhere, such as in electricity. So be aware of your peak hours if you have peak hours, and look for ways that things that might be sucking power out or using up energy that you might not be aware of, and unplug those items accordingly. Number 3, best tip to save on food and household products. Find out which stores has the best price for each and every item. Our local public store, I usually don't buy anything there except for pasta. They will have pasta on sale a whole lot, buy one get one free, and I can buy it cheaper there than I can at most places. And some people say, well, I don't want to go into stores, like a whole bunch of stores, just to save on a few items. Well, look at it this way. Some people shop weekly, so they go into the store on average 4 times a month. But then they go into the same store and buy all of their items. Versus you could go into 4 different stores once a month. So you're still doing 4 trips in a month, or if you go 5, whatever, trips in a month, but each of those stores has the best prices. So you can look at it like that. Don't get sucked into the idea that these club warehouse places or warehouse clubs are going to have the best prices. Most of the time they do not. A lot of times you can get your stuff just as cheap at Walmart. Now, if you like going into those stores because they have specialty items or whatnot, then that's your priority. But most of the time you do not save in those stores. Household products, just find out what you like best, which is the cheapest products that you can use that will give you what you're looking for. Fortunately for us, for instance, the cheapest detergent we can buy in the store, the Foca, F-O-C-A, is the best that I have found to clean our clothes. It's amazing how well it does compared to some of the most expensive brands. So we're happy with that. Number 4, best tip on saving on clothes. Buy them used. There's nothing wrong with used clothing. A lot of people in new stores, they will buy clothes there, wear them, and return them. And you're going to wash the clothing anyway. Come on, you'll stay in a hotel that has sheets that you'll sleep on that everybody else has slept or done whatever on, but you won't buy used clothes. I just don't understand it. That's my children. That's not company. But our exceptions to that is we don't buy used underwear, we don't buy used socks, and most of the time we buy our shoes new, simply because it's hard to find good shoes that's used, and especially what we're looking for. So that would be my tips on that. Except hand-me-downs as well. Don't be too prideful to where you can't accept hand-me-downs. Number 5, best way to stay out of debt and pay it down. Save, save, save. You might can only save $10 a month, but in the end of the year, you know, that's $120 more than what you had before, you know. But save, whether it's at a bank, if you have a jar, whatever, save what money you can. Don't pay interest on things unless you absolutely can not avoid it. Use the snowball effect to roll over your money. Once again, that's the children. And so let's say your first debt, well, you pay your lowest debt first and then you go to your highest debt. So like, let's say if your first debt's $500 a year, $500, and you're paying $20 a month on that, pay that off as much as you can, not just $20, but as much as you can, because you want to get past paying on interest. And then after you're done paying that $500 debt off, let's say your next debt's $1,000, you take that $20 you put towards your first debt with your $1,000 amount. Let's say you're paying $40 a month for $1,000 debt. So you're going to take your $20 and add it to the $40, and that's $60 right there. So, and it goes on and on and on. So that's how that works. Dave Ramsey can inform you a lot more on that. Number 6, share one thing that you do to save money that others might not do. I asked my husband about this, and he said that he would believe that it would be that when I use hair dye, I use only half of the bottle instead of the whole thing. Of course, once you mix the chemicals together, it's activated and you have to use it up or throw it away. But you can, only mix half of the chemicals together and use it. Now, some people will say, well, if you don't dye your hair, you save more money. I'm not doing that. So that's how I save on hair dye. I do it myself. All of our haircuts are done at home. The boys, we have 4 fellows here. We do all of their haircuts, and then us 3 or 4 girls that's still at home, we do our own haircuts as well. The second thing is, and I know this isn't very popular, but it is investing in eternity. And what I mean by that is to tithe at your local church. I know a lot of people are tempted, and we used to be, we're not anymore. It's just something that we do, and we give to missions. But it is an investment into eternity. And I've seen it through us over and over again. I can tell you one story after another, how we have been faithful in tithing and into giving to missions through our local church. And the Lord has blessed us. We would have a need to come up, and He would provide for that need and then even give over many times. So I would say tithing. And I know that's not very popular, and that's probably something some people don't know, but there you go. Also, lower your standards on things. Think about how people used to live 50 or even 100 years ago, and have old-fashioned standards. We do with a whole lot more than we used and than people had back then, and most of those things are not even needs. It's something that we might think are needs, but they're really not needs. So have an old-fashioned mentality when it comes to what you need. There's nothing wrong with hanging out laundry. I hardly ever see clotheslines out anymore. I'm almost convinced we're going to be one of the last ones to be hanging out our clothes in our town before you know it. But there's nothing wrong with going back to the old ways. Number 7, how important is it to save money? It is very important. Look at it this way. Would you rather save $50 a month in a jar for a vehicle? I know that's not a lot, but let's just say $50 a month, and put that toward cash to pay for a vehicle? Or would you rather have a higher payment later and only $50 a month of that be just for interest? So that's the way you need to look at it, is that you're investing and staying out of debt. And you're going to need these things. So you're either going to use that money, put it into an account to save for your needs, or you're going to have to go in debt later and you're still going to be paying out that same amount plus more. It just makes sense to save the cash for it. So I think that's everything. So thank you so much, Willem, for tagging me, and I am going to tag anyone that is that has anything that they want to share on this. And if you do this tag, please let me know so that I can come watch your what your answers are as well. So I'll talk with y'all later. Have a good day, and pray for us because tomorrow is our first day of school. And so that's my project today, is laundry and getting downstairs, making sure everything's lined up for school for tomorrow morning. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.